Overwatch 2 hasn't been great. In fact, it's mostly been a failure and filled with empty promises. And with Season 11's launch, I can't help but feel disappointed and underwhelmed with the direction of the game. So, a little different from what I've intended to talk about on this channel, but today I'm going to just rant about some changes I think Overwatch genuinely needs to make. First, I want to get the low-hanging fruit out of the way and talk about the shop and customization options within the game. I think that Team 4 needs to really sit down, define and commit to what the skin tiers are and what the pricing for those tiers is. Epics should be anywhere from 500 to 1,000 Overwatch coins, depending on just how many cosmetic changes are actually made. Legendary skins from Owl 1 should be discounted and at like 900 to like absolute max of 1,200 Overwatch coins, depending on if they were event skins or some exclusive rewards. The new non-recolor OW2 legendary skins should be the only ones at that luxury price range from 1,500 to 1,900 coins, depending on the quality and complexity of the skin. I've been really annoyed with it, and I think there should be more effort to make the skin tiering more consistent, and the pricing of the product should actually match the tier it appears to be. Overwatch 2 is lacking in those consumer-friendly practices, and I think including more would drive more consistent sales through an objectively more positive shopping experience. I don't know about y'all, but I find it incredibly frustrating and discouraging for players and potential buyers for Blizzard to have skins like Hashimoto Hanzo and Kiriko, which are undeniably epic tier skins. I mean, they're recolors with one model change being a mask put on both of them. But these skins are being sold exclusively in the shop, and as if they were full-priced, unique legendaries. And like skins that are great, like Prospector Torb or Mob Boss Junker Queen, or any other actually soulful legendary released in OW2. It is unacceptable, and it puts on a really disrespectful face of greed that just adds on to OW2's already extremely poor public image and bad reputation. The game needs to be monetized, but there actually needs to be a system in place. Epics should be epics, and the legendaries should actually fit the definition of a legendary. Overwatch's art is one of the few objectively great things OW2 has going for it. And it's so stupid that these ridiculously consumer-unfriendly, probably corpo decisions are crapping on that legacy and really limiting the potential of the shop. Speaking of those unfriendly anti-consumer practices, I see no reason whatsoever that shop and event skins shouldn't be purchasable or at least viewable in the hero gallery. I know FOMO is an undeniably powerful tool for marketing and driving sales, but that's if it's done correctly and with the right products. The current shop debut is fine, but making absolutely none of these cosmetics visible or purchasable just for the tiny chance of FOMO kicking in during a rotation isn't smart, and I think it is undoubtedly costing them potential sales. If it wasn't, they probably would have gotten those bonuses. Staying on the cosmetic train, I want to touch on souvenirs, and I think they really need a rework or just to be vaulted. Those dev resources could easily be used for other cosmetics the community actually likes and wants. Things like higher quality skins, more weapon skins, weapon inspects, high-tier emotes like dances and highlight intros that some new characters don't have yet, more weapon variants to unlock. Souvenirs can be 500 Overwatch coins if you're purchasing them for real money. They can absolutely be better or be replaced with something that people will actually buy and have fun using. Mentioning weapon skins, these should also just be purchasable from the hero gallery at all times, unless they are tied to an exclusive or IRL event. They should also probably be slightly reduced in price from what they currently are. I think 1,000 coins is probably a good spot for the legendary weapon skins to be. But speaking about pricing and tier, I think there should be epic tier weapon skins for like 500 coins. I think the more options you give the buyer, the more sales you'll potentially make. So why not have epic tier skins, legendary tier skins, and then like they recently showed, they're already kind of in this idea with the mythic tier skins. They're just only pricing for luxury instead of towards the average spender. I think that the current 1,200 Overwatch coins weapon skin cost is just a bit too much and should probably be reserved for exclusive or event weapon skins, which is probably another thing that should just exist. It's kind of a no-brainer. Imagine a summer game set of like inflatable blow-up skins that have unique sound effects whenever you melee somebody, doing like a squeaky or something. Or a super flashy, really pretty Christmas skin set with jingles and bells and ribbons and unique ability effects. People would eat that up. In general, I think Team 4 really needs to start putting more effort in and expand upon purchasable cosmetics with stuff players would actually like. Like I talked about, the recently revealed Mythic skin is a great example of this kind of thinking, and pricing aside, I'm glad it's happening. Hopefully those epic tier skins I was talking about happen soon. Some more cosmetics they could try are things like equipable sounds, kill and death effects, global emotes, animated profile pictures and name cards, different UI skins, spawn room effects, animated sprays. All of these are, fun and expressive cosmetics that are completely doable, seen in other games, and would sell like crazy. I know I'd buy the crap out of an Overwatch Classic AL1 themed UI pack, and I don't think I'm alone there. That's about all I've got to say about cosmetics. Let's move on to the next section, and that is competitive. The ranked mode we have now is better than the AO2 launch joke, but it still isn't as good as the SR system we had leaving AO1. And that's only added to the problem of ranked not really being as populated as it should be. The issue with ranked's population isn't that there aren't enough hyper-casual players deciding to queue the mode. It's that ranked isn't catering to the actual competitive community who would be interested in playing if there was anything at all to grind for or show off. Team 4 needs to cater to the actual audience of ranked, and not waste resources trying to convince dedicated casual players to pick up ranked with these random anti-anxiety fixes that just downgrade and muddy the ranked experience. That being said, I think it should be a cold take, but maybe it's a hot take. I think your SR should be displayed in ranked. You can have ranks shown instead in the pregame screen if you really don't want to do SR. But players should just probably be able to choose if it's displayed, and they should at least be able to see their own accurate SR if they can't see their teammates. If a competitive player truly doesn't want their rank or SR featured or visible, they should just be able to hide it or toggle it off by using the existing private profile feature. I imagine the same people who have private profiles right now are the same people bothered by others seeing their SR, rank, and stats, so just make those things hidden when somebody is private. The point is, AO2 is lacking in competitive integrity, and increasing that integrity and clearly showing the matchmaking quality of a lobby, I think would improve the general ranked experience for the people that actually enjoy ranked and care. Making these kinds of things optional protects those who want to be hidden, while allowing others to still display their accomplishments and have much more clarity going into a match. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be an option. That being said, next is a huge one, and that's ranked rewards. These are the actual reason for the average player to grind out ranked. These are practically non-existent in AO2, and with an already bare-bones rank system, subject to poor balance in an awful format, already struggling to attract players, the lack of rewards to grind for isn't helping convince anyone to queue or interact with the game mode. I think there are several relatively easy things you could do to provide unique collectibles that people can actually grind for as a comp enjoyer. I'm talking things like seasonal or annual unique recolors of default AO2 character skins exclusive to that ranked period, higher quality weapon variants. Emerald was a good idea, but it needs serious improvement. And beyond that, you could have more crystals, you could have different metallic variants with unique textures, you could have different themes like space or nebulas, and you could have really unique null sector skins. Pretty much whatever variant is cool and actually looks good. I also think players should get currencies for playing several matches and actually dedicating their time to ranked. You should still get comp points for every match, and they should probably be consolidated because it's kind of ridiculous that there's two different comp points. It just muddies the experience for absolutely no reason. But getting back to the point here, you should also get credits for like every 5 games, like a couple hundred credits. And you should honestly probably get coins for every 10 or 20 matches, since you're playing ranked for that long. Just easy and consistent rewards that really don't cost Blizzard anything. Another big one here is, I think, at least in ranked, we should re-implement the level border system. Portrait borders could show a player's peak rank and represent their ranked playtime and dedication to Overwatch again. I know tons of people who did play Overwatch 1 miss their borders, and that seems like a no-brainer feature to bring back and just win some good faith. Finally, you could also do more unique and start doing ranked sprays again, and you could also expand to unique ranked voice lines or weapon charms that you can earn to represent your participation in a ranked season. Just cool stuff that honestly isn't that hard to do, that is meaningful and unique enough for people to actually want and grind for and say, hey, I participated in this ranked season, this is the stuff I got. I'm still kinda talking about ranked here, but I want to talk in a subsection about the community experience. A big issue with Overwatch 2's community and social experience is the awful report system. It needs fixing. It has further killed teamwork and communication in this game, and I don't really care whether or not it's completely automated or not. It needs major improvement. People shouldn't be getting away with mass false reports, nor should those false reports be anywhere near as effective as they are. And those genuine delinquents that are spam using slurs and ruining matches shouldn't be getting away with those abusive actions. People are terrified to join voice or even type sometimes because they know someone can false report them relentlessly for participating in those channels, yet there are disgusting players slurring every match, going scot-free for weeks, and even when action is eventually taken, those players are ready with an ult so they can repeat the process. It's a mess, and it needs serious attention. There has to be a better form of reviewing reports so that people aren't getting silenced or banned just because a couple of dickheads decided to mass report them because they weren't playing to a standard or dared to speak in chat and ask for help or something. And also, you should be put in more effort. And I don't care if somebody uses a slur in game or a broken up slur or something, you should hardcore ban them, if not hardware ban them. It's ridiculous that these people can go again and again and again and just continue getting away with ruining the game, attacking people personally, and I mean, a lot of the time these players are the ones cheating and shit too, so it's honestly ridiculous. That was a bit heated, but I really do think it's a huge issue. But stepping away from that topic, at launch, a clan or guild system was shown as a major feature to come in Overwatch's sequel. But much like PvE and weapon inspects, we are nearly 2 years in, with nothing to show for the time spent waiting or those dev resources spent. This is Blizzard we're talking about. It's insane to think that the devs haven't figured out how to cost-effectively implement even a bare bones clan system to give us something players have wanted and what we've been told to expect. It'd be dope if it was actually a fully fledged out system and had rewards like unique titles or profile pictures, name cards, weekly rewards, etc. But it's not here yet somehow. It's something fun and socially rewarding in an online multiplayer game. It's honestly a no-brainer that we should have it, and this video game could definitely use more fun features. That being said, we should also probably have LFG back in some form, or at least start rewarding players for grouping at the end of the match and actually playing together. Also, this ties back a little bit into competitive, but I do think that groups should be visible in matches again. If anything, at least in ranked in the pre-game screen. It just adds a little bit more competitive integrity and clarity whenever you're going into a match to see who is grouped, if there are any groups. While incredibly rocky, to say the least, there have been some great changes made recently in an attempt to improve matchmaking and the ranked experience. And I'll give credit where credit's due, they are making an effort on that part. But I think an important part that they're missing is fully and visually committing to separate the queues would probably improve the experience and might even help queue times out a bit. But what am I talking about here? I'm thinking of having a dedicated solo, duo, trio queue that only plays with each other, and a completely separate 5-stack queue with its own top 500 and everything. That might be extra, but I think it is very important in a 5v5 format to either separate these queues to improve competitive integrity and cut the matchmakers some slack, because the only other option is to only allow solos and duos, and I think that's too limiting. So I at least want to give people the option to play in a full stack or a trio if they want to. Unfortunately, 4 stacks just don't fit in this 5v5 world we're in for now, and I prioritize the competitive experience and easier matchmaking over 4 stacks being allowed to exist. The current wide and narrow group system is kind of just a rudimentary way of doing this kind of change, but it's not as consistent and has caused different issues when queuing, especially issues when queuing as a duo. So I think they should honestly just try and do something that's more simple and consistent like this, that will pretty much guaranteed assist the matchmaking experience. All of that being said, there is one purely community-focused change I do want to bring up. And it's a bit of a hot take, but I think Team 4 should rebrand the game to just Overwatch. It's harsh, but AO2's reputation is practically unsalvageable, and the public image of AO2 is just inherently negative due to all of its failures, unfulfilled promises, and mismanagement. While I really do think AO2 is a dumpster fire, I still love Overwatch, and that name and IP still holds its weight in the industry. The rebrand would have to come along with some major game changes and an actual marketing campaign outside of the normal channels, but I believe in it. We're currently in a mess of a game, but I think Overwatch as a whole is salvageable. And I think committing to the IP like that would do good by the players that actually care, and probably get back some good community sentiment that the game really needs right now. But with all of that community stuff talked about, I want to get to the final section of this rant and talk about format. It's the hot topic, and the discussion has been going on intensely for a long while now. And I'm glad it has been, because the game state hasn't been good. 5v5 122 has been awful. With a game like Overwatch, an asymmetrical format just does not work. And we know this from AO1 with the failed 1-3-2 experimental and the destructive consequences of poor asymmetrical balance decisions that diminished certain roles' impact, or in the most extreme cases, nearly erasing a role entirely. There's 3 realistic options in order of viability that I think the devs could pursue to make a truly great game. First is the obvious and most viable one, 6v6 Roll-Lock, a solid, uniform format that is more expressive and much less susceptible to rampant counter-swapping, and allows teammates to synergize, cover each other's weaknesses, and make huge, fun plays together within a role. This is what the community has been in an uproar about, and in all honesty, I agree. It is the easiest format for AO2 to transition to be an easier game to balance and design for, while also solving the vast majority of the drastic gameplay issues 5v5 introduced and amplified. Next, and this is only in second place because I think the devs prefer the consistency of Roll-Lock, is my own OC format solution, 5v5 Roll-Lock 1-1-1-1-1, featuring 5 roles and roster adjustments: tank, assault, damage, flex, and support. In this format, you stay in 5v5, but actually commit to the odd-numbered Roll-Lock format by further adapting Overwatch to function in a more role-diversified, MOBA-esque system. And the final option I think is viable is 5v5 OpenQ. If we actually take this format seriously and balance for it, we would regain a lot of the freedom, expression, and flexibility of OpenQ Overwatch in exchange for the compositional consistency and reliable gameplay experience Roll-Lock provides. 5v5 Open is nowhere near as overwhelming as 6v6 Open, reining in the format's fundamental downsides and dramatically lowering the difficulty of balancing. Similar to 6v6 Roll-Lock, OpenQ solves a lot of the issues we've been facing in 1-2-2 Roll-Lock, and puts some of those solutions directly in the hands of the individual players, with being able to switch between any character for any problem that you're facing. While all of these potential formats, I think, make for a better experience and provide a much more solid foundation to balance and design the game around, like I said earlier, I do give the edge to 6v6 Roll-Lock, since good balance and design solutions for 6v6 Roll-Lock, I think, are fundamentally universal. That being said, I always thought it would be super cool to have 6v6 and 5v5 playable in some form at the same time. Currently we have 5v5 1-2-2 role lock as the main game mode the game is seemingly balanced around, and most people play it as it's the featured premier game mode. And we have 5v5 open queue available as a bonus mode on the side, though no one really plays it since it's not properly balanced, and no one takes it or its competitive mode seriously. I don't even think there are any high-ranked streamers or any pros that prefer or consistently play the game mode. So naturally, virtually no one is interested in playing the game mode, since no one takes it seriously, no one competes in it, nor are there any really discussions about it. So imagine with me, if you will, a fairy tale land where people who like different things can get along and coexist. There live two separate queues, two mainstay game modes for players to choose, not unlike our game today. A main, competitive 6v6 role-lock game mode that the game is balanced and designed around, appeasing the majority of OWL fans and making the game more fun, less stompy and frustrating, and evening the role representation once again. And, as another option, a more casual feeling 5v5 open queue mode to play, providing an alternative, fast-paced, more deathmatchy experience while requiring less players for a game mode that will most likely be inherently less populated. Both formats coexisting in the game, providing unique experiences with very different reasons to play.
Yeah. Like that's ever gonna happen. What a load.
So, those are my thoughts on what I think Overwatch should do going into the future. Changes they can make to increase the game's fun factor, longevity, and competitive integrity. And I really want to emphasize fun there, because at the end of the day, this is a video game, and it should be a fun experience. With that being said, what do you think? Which format would you prefer Overwatch to commit to in the future? What other format options have you thought of? What cosmetics or features would you love to see in Overwatch? I really enjoy discussing Overwatch, so please let me know below. I look forward to reading those comments. And while you're down there, if you would, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see any future content. Thanks for watching.